Hello and a very good morning to all of you. I am Nirmala Raghavan, been here with the foundation course for almost 5 or 6 years. And here we go with chapter 1, that's communication. Before we venture into the chapter, I need to introduce you to Foundation English. Why do we have English as a part of your curriculum for a CA course? All your core subjects, the communication that you do in offices, that you talk with your peers, are all in English, and therefore English becomes very, very important. Those of you who are skilled with the language skills have an edge over the others in speaking, reading, writing, and listening to. Today, since it's a global workplace that we work in, it's very, very, very important that all of you are quite fluent with the language itself. Now, this whole course, the Foundation English course, is going to highlight to you what's important as regards skilling yourself with the language and how can you do it. What's important? Is there a difference between the language that's used in Foundation English and thereafter for your CA course? Or is it just the same as you have it in your general English course that's there in your college and your schools? So these are some of the differences that you're going to see. You will also be dealing with study skills as to how to study a large volume of text so that you are able to understand, remember, retain, recall when you write your exams. So it's for all these purposes that Foundation English has been introduced. This paper is for 40 marks. It's clubbed with your law paper, which goes for 60 marks. In this paper, you will have, it starts off with question number 7, which is comprehension. And question number 7, the comprehension question, is an important and a mandatory question. Unless you answer this question number 7, your paper may not be valued, and therefore it is very important for you to answer question number 7. It's all going to be very easy, just the same type of questions as you have had in schools or in colleges. They're not different, but the way you answer, the vocabulary, the sentences, these are important because these have to relate to business English. What's the difference between general English and business English? General English is what we do in the school and in the college, where you have poetry, prose, drama. This is there in the syllabus to help you appreciate the language, the nuances of the language. And that's why it's called general English, which is a curriculum based on daily conversation, day-to-day conversation in your real life. But business English is very focused and specific to workplaces. English for jobs, English for workplaces. How is that different? The vocabulary that you use cannot be a commonplace vocabulary. They have to be specific for your jobs, relevant to the questions you're asking or the answers you're saying. And business English is also about sentence structures. How you frame your sentences. How do you ask your questions? How accurate are you? How fluent are you? Whether you're hunting for ideas or words, whether you drag on and say kind of things while you speak. These make a huge difference. And if you are fluent, if you are accurate, then you have an edge over others. Your prospects of promotion are high. Your prospects of being, taken for a job during your interview, if your language is good, is also great because communication is what matters most today. Maybe today or tomorrow, next class, I will show you a few clippings of the workplaces which focus on communication. And this chapter 1 is going to be on communication. So we had a quick overview of what the whole syllabus is about for Foundation English. 1, this is business English specific. 2, you will know the differences between business English and the general English. 3, how important it is for you to be, skilled in the language, because it's in English that you're taking your exam, and in workplaces, it is English communication that happens most times. Therefore, language and communication becomes very, very difficult. I'm sorry, very, very important. Then you have the nuances of communication. What is important while communicating? Whether it's the words, whether it's the language, what type of communication happens in the workplaces. That's important. And this is what it's all about, the whole course in Foundation English. Now, let me start sharing my PPT. We go from the beginning. Yeah. Here we are. Just give me a minute and I will put it on slideshow. Yeah, here we are. Okay, this is chapter 1, session 1. The total question paper is for 40 marks. This is the question paper pattern. It has 5 parts. Each part is for 5 marks, and that makes it 25 marks. The rest, 15 marks, will be for grammar, vocabulary, and short answer questions. Ground rules for your Zoom sessions. Have your notebook and pen to take notes, to note down what's important, to note down what you notice as important. Have your study material with you while you are in the class so that you will know whether we are closely connected to the study material. Do the activities as per instructions during the session. As and when you have doubts, keep them posted. In case I miss some of your questions, please post them again so that I don't waste my lecture time hunting for the question. Please don't jump the chapters. Let your questions be relevant to the chapter we are doing. And of course, any doubts regarding the answers and the question paper related to the chapters, nothing more or less. Please provide your honest feedback so that we fine-tune our sessions to make them effective for you. It's important to fill the feedback form. It's only ethical it's important to learn to be ethical before you get into jobs, because it's ethics that will give you an edge over others, will help you be successful. So post your honest feedback so that our sessions are really, really effective for you. Okay, in this session, you will learn Introduction to Business English, definition of communication, types of communication, verbal, non-verbal, and visual. Non-verbal, you have paralanguage, body language, appearance, aesthetic appearance, symbols. Formal and informal communication are 2 types. Then written and oral communication, which becomes verbal. In a moment, I will be dealing with each of these separately so that you understand what they are and you also have a clarification as to how to communicate effectively. Now, introduction to business English. What is business English? I did start off with that. Business English is more focused and specific language that's used in workplaces. It's different from the general English because general English is about daily conversation in your real life, where you don't have to think twice about using most appropriate word or speaking very, very relevantly. But in workplaces, it's a necessity, it's a requirement that you are specific and focused about whatever happens there. For whom is this business English? It's for everybody who would want to go for jobs or who wants to be entrepreneurs. Okay? Yeah. So differences between general English and business English is just what I said. Advantages, it gives you an edge over others. It helps you speak, communicate, speak or write effectively. It also helps you to communicate globally. Okay. I'm giving you a list of newspapers and magazines which focus on business English. I'll give you a minute to read through this. You may note it down. I'll give you a minute. So some of them are paid stuff, some are free. You may subscribe to the free ones because you can have a variety of reading magazines or newspapers. Financial Express, Tribune, the Wall Street Journal, Economic Times, Mint India, Business Standard, the Australian Financial Review, Financial Chronicle, the Hindu Business Line, Harvard Business Review. Some of these are paid, some are free. Subscribe to freer ones and have a variety to read. That will help you build your business English skills. Websites that can help you with business English: Forbes, CNBC, Bloomberg, Breaking News, BBC, One Stop English, British Council's Learn Business English. Then you have this Beyond TV. Okay, so there are plenty that's available, but you have to concentrate on business English. That will help you build up your language, your vocabulary, your sentence structures. And what's latest? What's happening around in commerce? Okay, English for specific purposes. This is what it's all about. English is a key skill for a successful career. If you are applying for a job, most employers, especially international organizations, will ask you to demonstrate your language skills. The interview is to check your communication, whether you're able to answer questions relevantly. That's what they check when you are in an interview. What is communication? We say communication happens or communication is effective when the sender sends the message, the receiver receives the message and responds relevantly. So until the response, communication doesn't happen, right? Unless the receiver responds relevantly, communication doesn't happen. So what is the communication process? The process of communication is where the sender sends a message, encodes, that's sending the message is encoding the message. The receiver decodes the message and understands and responds relevantly. That is communication. Now, definition. Communication chapter is very, very important in your foundation English because out of the 40 marks question paper, 5 to 6 or 7 marks is devoted to this chapter 1. Short answer questions are important from this chapter, especially WH questions, what, when, how kind of questions. You have to be thorough with the whole chapter to be able to answer any kind of question from this chapter. Definition. Communication is a process of exchanging information, ideas, thoughts, feelings, and emotions through speech, signals, writing, or behavior. If you can mention all of them in your own words, you don't have to memorize. If in case you feel you're doubtful, that you won't be able to remember all of them, it's better to memorize definitions alone. And it's only in this chapter that you will be tested in definitions and what things mean. So it's a process of exchanging information. It's not passing on the information, but it is an exchange where the sender sends the message, the receiver listens to it, understands it, and responds relevantly. Okay, that is communication. In a communication process, a sender encodes a message and then using a medium. So what's the medium? Is a language you use. Either it's English or Russian or Italian or Spanish, whatever. Using a medium or a channel, sends it to the receiver who decodes the message and after processing the information, sends back an appropriate feedback or a reply using a medium or a channel. Now, that's the reason why we keep repeatedly saying your feedback form is very, very, very important, because what I speak here as a lecture, say for 2 hours, is the feedback that tells me how well you've understood, how much have you understood, and what is it that you can comment, give a feedback, or have a question about. Unless you give a feedback, communication is not complete, communication hasn't happened, right? So going back to communication is a process of exchanging information, ideas, thoughts, feelings, and emotions through speech, signals, writing, or behavior. After every subtopic, I'll go to your question link to see what questions or what doubts you have posted. Don't jump the questions or subtopics. We will go one after the other. And I promise I will cover as it is in the order of the study material. I will not be jumping chapters or subtopics. It's a process of exchanging information, ideas, thoughts, feelings, and emotions through speech, signals, writing, or behavior. In a communication process, a sender encodes a message and then, using a medium or a channel, sends it to the receiver, who decodes the message and, after processing the information, sends back appropriate feedback or a reply using a medium or a channel. Now I have a short activity for you to do a fill up. I'll give you a minute to read through this so that you remember the keywords, because the activity is going to be on the keywords. I'll give you a minute. You may post your answers in the chat box. Or maybe, yeah, in your link, query link. Yes. Yes, here we go. And I give you 2 minutes to fill up very quickly. I give you 2 minutes to fill this up. You have a minute more. Yeah, done. You have half a second more. Write in your notebooks and pen if you can't type fast. Yeah, the time is up. And now I go to your, I stop sharing and I go to your question link. Just give me a minute. Yeah, here we are. Blueprint of the paper, yes, I will do. We have just begun, right? So this lecture series will only be in English. So don't ask me in Hindi. One, I don't know Hindi. Yeah, you can use the simplest of the words, but see, there is a difference between using simple words and common words. Common words are words that you use in day-to-day conversations within your family, with friends and relatives. I'm talking of business English words, which are not difficult words, simple words, but used in workplaces. It's not writing in a critical manner. We will have plenty of examples. Wait for that. We've been instructed to use only English. Okay, so do not post such tall questions. Now, about the PPT. PPT is just what's there in your study material. They are nothing different. Okay, that's number one. Number two, the YouTube has my entire lecture. So do not ask for a separate PPT. The PPT goes along with the lecture. Let me tell you the difficulty in sharing the PPT with you on a public platform. One, for the purpose of understanding, I use images, I use clipped videos to share with you. I can share it in a class, but I cannot share it as a PPT on a different platform, which will have copyright issues. Okay. For the sake of understanding, for teaching purposes, I can share them with you, but I cannot give it to you as a PPT because that will involve copyright issues. Now, both the languages, sorry, plenty of you have asked me about that. Tell me the schedule of live classes. It's 11 to 1. Okay. Listen, come to the class regularly, attend the classes regularly, take notes, answer the activities that go with the lectures. You don't need a separate PPT. And if in case you're still doubtful, you want some kind of, backup, watch the YouTube. It's there on the YouTube. Yeah, Rihan is also good, but sometimes I feel their accent is quite different. Both the I'm not understanding what you're teaching. Oh my God. How can English be taught in a different language? You tell me. Suppose it's a subject. Say you call it law, you call it even law. I don't think you can have it in different languages because encoding is planning the message. Decoding is understanding the message. Yeah, I will also check the chat box. Yes. Medium or channel is the language you use. You can choose any magazine. That's for Mukta Vyas. You can, as long as it is interesting for you, you're able to get plenty of words, ideas. It should be good enough. So pick, I have given you a list. You can choose from one of those and see that you pick only free sites or free magazines. You get them all on the net. You don't even have to buy. This is for Priyanka Gupta. You've been sending message after message. to speak in both languages. Sorry, I know only English, and the instructions for me from the Board of Studies is to deliver the lecture only in English. Exchanging information is when you speak, somebody understands and responds relevantly. That is exchanging information. It's not engaging information. Engaging, yes, if it's interesting. Okay. Exchanging information, decodes a message, feedback. Very good. Yeah. This again is Priyanka Gupta. I have already answered you. Please don't send the same message and clutter the question box. Exchange of decode the message, exchanging decodes. Okay. Yeah, most of you have responded. That's really, really good. Picture not clear. Which picture? You mean the PPT? Exchanging. Yeah, most of you have filled the blanks. Appropriate feedback. Here again, this is Priyanka Gupta. I have answered you. Priyanka, please don't post again. Exchanging information. Super. That's really, really excellent. Most of you have got your blanks right. Yes. Very good. Sorry, Priyanka. I will see the chat box also. Just give me time. Let me finish this and then go to that. Who's this? Nisha, I already told you, don't jump the topics or the chapters. Let's go one after the other. First is the definition of communication, and then we'll do the rest of the things, right? Exchanging information, message, decodes. Yeah. Yeah, it's decodes. That's for Kumkum Chaudhary. Yeah. The last second column is very confusing. Okay, I'll go back to that again. Yes, business English words are formal words. Is using a no. Jargons are not formal language. Yes, business English is that which you will use in office places. Yeah, we'll do more of it. Don't worry. Who's this? Akash. We will do. This chapter, as we start off, the first question is describe communication. What's the definition of communication? You will score the maximum if you attend the lectures and make notes and remember to write them in your exams. Yes, you can write these in your own words, provided you don't make a mistake. See, whether you're from the North India or the South India, if you get to listen to it regularly, then you'll start understanding the language. It's such easy. It's not difficult at all. Coding and encoding are the same things. Yes. Newspaper, go for business English newspapers is the only condition. Right? See, what pen you use in the exam is your call. Usually, black pens are supposed to be very clear. Yeah, we'll come to that. Distortion maybe in communication. Who's this? Number 342. I don't see the name. Okay. Yeah, I will be able to tell you. I will tell you the meanings in between. Don't worry. You will get access to Zoom sessions in the YouTube, in the BOS link. If there is no reply for the message, then there is no communication at all. Yes, you rightly said. Chat box. Okay, I'll tell you. No, you use only this queries link, because if you're going to post here, there, everywhere, then I will be wasting time looking into all of them. So don't worry about the chat box. Post your link queries here. Don't worry about the chat box, and don't keep posting the same stuff. Okay, now let me move on. Yes, we are done. So this English communication and foundation English concentrates on how to help you communicate well, how to use the most appropriate words, how to answer relevantly. That's what the whole course is about, right? Now, let's go to our PPT. Chat box. I don't see any message here. Anyway, I'm not going to waste time now. Yes, here we are back, and I go back to my PowerPoint. Just give me a minute. Yeah. So you completed the gaps. I'll go back to the previous slide. Just check if your answers are right. Here you go. So it's a process of exchanging information, ideas, thoughts, feelings, and emotions through speech, signals, writing, or behavior. In communication process, a sender decodes, encodes a message, and then using a medium or channel. Medium or channel is the language that you use. Sends it to the receiver, who decodes the message, and after processing information, sends back appropriate feedback or reply using a medium or channel that the other person understands in, right? Okay. Categories of communication. What are the categories of communication? Verbal, non-verbal, visual, and body language. We are going to see each one of these, how they can also make effective communication, or how we can use these to make communication very, very, very effective. Verbal is what we speak and what we write by using words. And this is of two types, formal and informal. What is a formal communication? That's business English, English in workplaces, or English for jobs. That is formal communication, where communication happens with office colleagues and office people, people in positions. What is informal language? Informal language is a English you use with your friends and relatives and familiar people, people whom you already know. To them, you use informal language, lot of slangs, lot of jargons, and you don't have to have a fear or a hesitation to use words that you like. But a formal communication demands the most appropriate vocabulary, good sentences, factual and relevant stuff. Okay. Visual is what you can communicate without words. For example, symbols, the traffic signal, hoardings which don't have words in them, just the picture alone. Yeah, these are visuals. Graphs, bar graphs, Venn diagrams, pie charts. Body language, sometimes I use my hands like this, right? I say, 1, 2, 3. This is body language. When I want to emphasize something, when I feel all of you must understand whatever is being said, then I try to roll my eyes and I try to show my fingers. That's body language. We will see one by one. We have quite a few examples. Okay, this is body language, defining body language. What is body language? What and how do you think we can communicate without words? Can we communicate without words? Yes. Which of these things do you think has the most impact on how we communicate? Words, tone of voice, the tone, How can tone make a difference? For example, just the word oh, or just the word yes. 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 And the tone matters a lot when you speak. Gestures. Gestures are, movements of your body, shrugging your shoulders, nodding your heads sideways or this way. Facial expressions where your face shows whether you're happy or you're sad or you're frustrated or you're disturbed, whatever. The way we sit or stand, you sit in a proper position, in a relaxed way, leaning a little forward. It tells the other person that you're listening very, very carefully, right? How conscious are you of your own body language? Are you really conscious of your body language? Yes, definitely when you meet strangers, when you are in an interview, when you are in an office where you have to answer something or ask something, then you also plan your body language. Do you think men or women are more conscious of body language? Why? I think both of us are, men and women, right? The way you walk into a room, the way you sit, you position yourself, the posture, not stretching your legs, sitting like this. Do you think you're able to read other people's body language? Definitely. I have a few video clippings which I can share with you, which will very clearly tell you what can be the allowed body language in workplaces or in interviews. I will show that probably in the next session. Now, we move on to this. So this is something that will tell you. Oh, wait. Okay, we move on to para-language and then we go to the previous slide. What is para-language? The way you say something more than the actual words used reveal the intent of the message, the voice quality, intonation, pitch, stress, emotion, tone, and style of speaking, communicates approval, interest, or the lack of it. Now, this is one long sentence, one whole sentence running to 3 or 4 lines. Now, let me explain to you how it's important. What is para-language? Para-language is using expressions without words or expressions for the sake of words. For example, expressions like uh-oh, ah, ouch, IO, because IO is also included in the Oxford English Dictionary. So IO is also an English word now. IO, yes, no, hey, okay. These are expressions. They are not words by themselves. Yes and no are words, but the rest of them are not words. Let's see how they make a difference. Let's take, for example, O. When I say, so the first one, it reveals the intent of the message. Oh, so that's a big doubt. Reveals the intent of the message. Why this message is, or what is the understanding of the message? Then you say, oh, that's a doubt. Voice quality. Oh, it's very stern. That you disbelieve. That's a voice quality. Then intonation. Oh, disinterestedness. It's total intonation, where your voice raises or lowers depending on what you want to communicate. When I say, oh, then it's with surprise. It's a pleasant thing. But when I say, oh, so that's intonation, the rise and fall of the voice. Pitch is again the loudness. When I say, oh, then it's a pleasant thing, that I'm surprised, I'm happy. Pitch. But when I'm going to say it in a very, very low pitch, oh, okay. So you know what it means. Stress. When I say, oh, the stress is O and not the H. When I say, oh, okay. So you know how you can differentiate, and the way you express communicates perfectly even without words. Emotion. So I said, when you're happy, you have a different O sound. Tone, the smiling tone. When you talk over the phone, And if you're smiling, the other person can understand. You see, if you're going to talk very disinterestedly, even that the listener will be able to understand that you're not smiling, that you're not happy, that you're not pleasant, whatever. Okay, style of speaking. Okay, so you say, oh, which means something, something has happened. That's not a good taste. Something fell down, you tripped and fell, whatever. Right. Communicates approval, interest, or the lack of it. So this is what it communicates. It communicates approval, interest, or the lack of it. Now, what is paralanguage? Paralanguage is an expression used instead of words. For example, oh, ah, ouch, okay, ayo. These are expressions that are used instead of words. And what is the purpose? It reveals the intent of the message, the voice quality, intonation, pitch, stress, emotion, tone, and style of speaking. It also communicates approval, interest, or the lack of it. Now, I'm going to give you a minute. Just read through this, right, several times so that you will be able to remember to fill up the gaps in the next activity. Quick. I'll give you 1 minute to read through several times. Yeah, time is up now. Let's go to the gap filling. I'll give you 2 minutes time to fill up the gaps. Quick. Because if you will be able to learn it immediately, it'll never ever be forgotten. That's the reason why it's done right away. Try to fill up the gaps, and I give you 2 minutes. Yeah, you have a minute more and post quickly. Yeah, it's time, and I move on. You move on to the next slide. Oh, okay. Now you will match these. Okay. Try matching this. Not a difficult task. Match and post in your query box so that I know that all of you are doing it. Right? And I'll give you 3 minutes for this. Yes. Such tasks, it would be better if you can do in your notebooks instead of posting, because when I call out answers, you can check them. So matching exercises, do in your notebooks. So when I call out answers, you can check them and just post the number of correct answers you've got, right? So I'll give you 2 minutes. 1 minute is already over and I'll give you 2 minutes. Write in your notebooks. Done? You have a minute more and I'll wait. Okay. I'm sure all of you must have done. Half a second more. Okay, now I'm going to call out answers. You correct them in your notebooks. And after that, you post in the query box how many you got right. Okay. The three broad categories of communication are verbal, non-verbal, and visual. So these are what I have given you here are non-verbal communication, body language, facial expressions, gestures, stance, the way you stand, the way you pose yourself, posture. Body language is facial expressions, gestures, and stance. Para language is expressions used to communicate. Aesthetic communication is music, drama, art, dance. That's aesthetic communication. A thing that is beautiful is a joy forever. Appearance is about being well dressed. Symbols, religion, religious, status, or ego building symbols. Okay. Post in the query box how many you got right. I'm closing this. Coming back to your link to see how many got all correct. Right? Yeah. Non-verbal communication is communicating without words. All five are right. Super. Very good. For those of you who got all correct, I only think that all of you didn't look into your study material. Okay. Yeah. Most of you have written it here itself, right? But here afterwards, when I give you match the following, do it in your notebook. You will have a reference. I'm looking for questions. First blank was confusing. I'll check that. Oh, all of you have written that. I'll check that. I don't know why. Yeah. The voice, intonation, yeah. What is intonation? I told you the raising of the voice or the lowering of the voice, depending on what you want to convey. Should you write along with me? No. Surfers. Why do you say that? Does it mean the time was not enough for you? Yeah, you use O for shock. Video is shaking. Yeah, I will repeat verbal and non-verbal again. Who's asking me meetings topic? Divya. Divya, don't jump the topics. It will not only confuse you, it will confuse all other students also. This is Jaren. I am supposed to teach only in English, and this will only be in English. I'm using very, very simple language, and I speak very slowly. I'm sure all of you will be able to understand. You concentrate on business magazines, Rangana, for understanding what business language is all about. Okay, so that's it. I have answered all your queries, right? Just give me a minute. Yeah. Intonation and pitch. Intonation is when you raise your voice and lower your voice. But pitch is where you fix it in one position and speak the same way all the time. Yeah. Which type of questions will come from this chapter is what we are discussing. As and when we do a subtopic, I give you questions. Why do you think I do that? Those are the type of questions which you will be tested in. You will not be given fill up the blanks or match the following. Okay? This is for your understanding. Questions from this chapter will be WH questions. What, when, why, describe, define kind of things. Define communication. Yeah, I'll repeat the answers again. Aesthetic communication is a thing of beauty. When you see a peacock dance, that's a beautiful sight, and you know it's beautiful, right? Your face, you also smile because it's really, really beautiful. That's aesthetic communication when you appreciate beauty. By the look of it, you know it's beautiful. By the look of something, you know it's ugly. It's awkward. It's odd. It's aesthetic communication which can give a feast to the eyes. So now, let me move on to my PPT. Just give me a minute. Yeah, here we are, and I go back to my PPT. First, let me clear that first blank where all of you said it's confusing. Yeah, this is the one you said. That communication is about, not this one. Para language, I guess. Yeah. Used to communicate is para language. Expressions used to communicate is para language. Without, you can also say expressions used to communicate without words is para language. Or expressions used to communicate is para language. Okay. So before going on to formal communication, they match the following: body language, facial expression, gestures, stance. Para language, expressions used to communicate without words. Aesthetic communication, music, dance, drama, art. A beautiful painting, a beautiful picture is aesthetic communication. Appearance is being well dressed. Symbols is religious symbols. Some people have the bindi, some people have something else, some things drawn. So these are religious symbols, status symbols, or ego symbols. So that much for non-verbal communication. Before I go on to this, yeah, I also have a few pictures to help you understand clearly what a body language means. Now here we go. recognizing body language. What do you think the body language is telling you in each image? Okay, the first one says probably wait, stop, frustrated, disgusted, or wants to think. The second one is like a teasing one. Is it, hey, this kind of. Third one is thinking, or it may be even not caring or disinterested. Fourth one, astonishment, surprise, taken by the news that's coming up. Then this one is totally disgusted, turning the back. Then this one is a question of being in shock or surprise. This also sets you thinking. Okay, these are just images for body language. Yeah. Now I go back to my screen share. Just give me, I stop sharing. Yeah. Yeah, here we are. And yes, formal communication, I said formal communication is communication that happens in the workplace, in jobs. So there are three types of communication: vertical, horizontal, diagonal. Informal or grapevine communication, network in communication, effective communication, and barriers of communication. So the rest of the chapter is all about these, and we will go one by one. From formal communication, it's vertical, horizontal, and diagonal. The moment you join an office, the first thing that you need to notice is to see how communication happens. Whether everybody sits across the table and discusses matters, or is there a hierarchy? What is a hierarchy? That the CEO is a first person, then comes maybe the managing director, then comes the managers, and then comes the officers, and then comes the class 4 people. So that is hierarchy, the ranking in a company. Some companies believe that messages or communication should happen only based on the hierarchy. But some other companies believe that it has to be, across the table where all employees sit together and discuss things. Today, in most MNCs, companies, corporates prefer only sitting across the table and discussing issues. They don't believe in the hierarchy. Okay, but there are some other companies which stick on to age-old traditional ways of communicating, and that is based on hierarchy. A talks to B, B talks to C kind of things based on their positions and rankings in the company. Okay, let's see what is vertical communication. This communication pattern can flow upwards or downwards in an organization. Data that is collected flow up to the top levels of management for review and decision making, while instructions and orders are passed down from the management or seniors to the subordinates for implementation. Okay, it's data and information go from the employees to the boss, and from the boss, instructions and orders come down. So it is a two-way communication. It's called the vertical communication, where the boss passes on the orders and instructions to the employee collects data and gives the feedback to the boss. It's a two-way communication. It happens only between two people, between the boss and the employee. The hierarchy matters here. Okay, between the boss and the employee. Now, vertical information can flow upwards or downwards. It goes up by way of data collection and information, and it comes down. Communication comes down from the boss by way of instructions and orders based for management reviews and decision making. And remember, this is from the subordinate to the boss and the boss to the subordinate. It is a two-way communication. Okay, now go ahead and fill up this quick. I'll give you 2 minutes. No, I'll give you 2 minutes to read through this and then you will fill up. Now the time is 12. I give you 2 minutes. Okay, now you will fill up. I give you another 2 minutes to fill up. Yeah, 2 minutes over. Now, I'm going to give you a 5-minute break. Okay, we come back at 12:07. Now the time is 12:02. We come back at 12:07 and I leave the screen open for you. No. I come back at 12:07. We are back after the break. Yeah. Yes, we are back after the break, and some of you have asked me questions. Yeah. So this is for Yoga Priya about mock test question. Test. Wait for the instructions in the website. Don't ask such questions here because you will be wasting our lecture time. Okay. And I've already said, do not jump chapters or do not ask irrelevant questions. Okay. Visual communication is what you see. The graphs, the pie charts, the Venn diagrams, these can communicate to you even without words. Therefore, it is called visual communication. A picture. Okay. Then I'm just looking at the questions. Yeah, you have answered the vertical communication perfectly. It is a two-way communication. What is an ego building symbol? Suppose I'm a Rotarian and I go around walking with my Rotary pin where my position is written. The police officials have their badges, the stars. These are their position symbols. And by looking at the symbol, you know what their rank is. Whether they are commissioners or constables or inspectors, those communicate even without words. The very badge will tell you what their ranking is. I'm getting all your messages and I have two devices. Notices are coming in the background from your side of another person's. Badal, no, I don't know. I don't know how that's happening. The categories of communication, there are three types of communication. This is called patterns of communication or types of communication. You must be very, very careful while answering questions. In your question paper, if there is a question on what are the types of communication, if they are verbal and non-verbal, they're also formal and informal. Then, what is a pattern of communication? It's vertical, diagonal, horizontal. What is networking in communication? Then you have 5 or 6 of them separately. So, when you read the question, you must read them very, very carefully to see what the question is about, not mix up answers. Then you will lose marks. In the communication chapter, the entire chapter will be tested for 1 or 2 short answer questions for which you don't have to write long answers or paragraph answers. They are just maximum, say 40 to 60 words or 60 to 80 words, not more, definitely not more than that, because they will carry only 1 or 2 marks. You will have 5 questions from this chapter for 5 marks. Therefore, this chapter is very, very, very important. Okay. Past year question paper. Yes, I will show you a sample of the last year's question paper so that you understand. You understand how the questions will appear. Then, yeah, graphs that show business growth is visual communication. Paralanguage is immediately after. No, is along with non-verbal. Along with the non-verbal topic in your study material. Non-verbal is the headache. Then you have Easter egg visual, and then you have paralanguage also there. Check there and you will see that. Tell about noting language. Explain briefly following study material again. Okay. The PowerPoint slides and my lectures are very closely related to the study material because Your questions for the exam will only be from that. That's number one. The study material gives you enough samples, question types for you to practice and answer and be ready for the exam. So we also stick to the study material very closely and very religiously. Once you attend the lectures, going through the study material will just be easy for you and will be helpful to you for revising just before the exam. It will be very easy and it will be good for you too. Written communication is only verbal communication. Without words, maybe you can say punctuations also mean some things, but by and large, it's only words that matter most when you write and communicate. Okay. I have another device to check your questions. So in case I miss some of the questions, it's still okay. Don't worry. I will get back to you when I look into it. Vertical communication, I've said, is two ways. It happens between the boss and his employee. Instructions and orders go from the boss. Data collection and feedback goes from the employee. It is a two-way communication. There are no chances of misunderstanding because the communication is direct. It happens very quickly because it's between just two people. There's no room for discussion and stuff. And the employee has just got to listen and say yes, yes to come back to his work. You want a summary? Yeah, we'll give a summary. We will also have an inbuilt assessment form to fill so that you are able to understand how much you've understood and how much you know out of these lectures. Okay, now let me go on to my slideshow. Here we are. Okay. Horizontal pattern. Horizontal communication that involves communication between two parts of the organization at the same level. Now, this is also between two people, but the difference between vertical and horizontal is, in a vertical, it is between the boss and the employee. In a horizontal, it is between two people in the same position belonging to an organization. I repeat, horizontal pattern is communication between two people of the same hierarchy or of the same position belonging to the same organization. They are part of the organization but holding different positions of the same kind in different departments. Say a conversation between an accounts manager and HR manager, between a HR manager and a personnel manager. Two different people of the same rank belonging to the same organization, different parts of the organization. That is horizontal. This again is two-way communication between two people belonging to the same rank, to the same hierarchy. Horizontal communication that involves communication between two parts of the organization at the same level. For example, the managers of a project in a company may hold a regular daily, weekly, or monthly meeting to discuss the progress of the project. That is horizontal. I'll give you 2 minutes to read quickly. Yeah, thank you, Badal, but this is the backdrop we are supposed to use. You will not be tested in newspapers and magazines. You're asked to read newspapers and magazines so that your language improves. Yes. Now you will go to answering the gap filling exercise. Quick, and I'll give you. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. Yeah. Oh, I don't have a gap filler for horizontal pattern, right? Okay, forget it. Because you have questions. Now I move on to diagonal pattern. Let's see what a diagonal pattern is. Diagonal is a cross-functional communication between employees at different levels of the organizational hierarchy. That's described as diagonal communication. Diagonal communication is increasingly common in larger organizations. It reduces the chances of distortion or misinterpretation by encouraging direct communication between the relevant parties. For example, a junior engineer reports directly to the general manager regarding the progress on the project. I repeat, a diagonal communication is a cross-functional communication where people from different hierarchies sit across the table to discuss the progress of the company or the department. They sit across. There is no hierarchy there. There is no one-up. There is no boss and employee. They all sit together and discuss. Today's MNCs, today's corporates believe in this diagonal pattern because they don't waste time. That's number one. Number two, there is no distortion of facts because it's a direct communication and there is no miscommunication. Nobody misses a communication. Nobody says it wrongly. Nobody need forget it, right? Therefore, diagonal pattern is most preferred in today's corporate offices. I repeat, it's a cross-functional communication between employees at different levels of the organizational hierarchy. This is described as diagonal communication. Diagonal communication is increasingly common in larger organizations. It reduces the chances of distortion or misinterpretation by encouraging direct communication between the relevant parties. For example, a junior engineer reports directly to the general manager regarding the progress on the project. Hierarchy, I said, is the topmost person is a CEO, then comes the general manager, then comes the managers, then comes the officers. So that is called hierarchy. Meghnad, I will show you the question paper pattern. Let me finish to a decent level of the communication chapter. So that next class, when I continue, it's going to be easy for you. And I will show you the question paper pattern, don't worry. Okay, so I give you 2 minutes to read through this quick. Distortion means changing the facts, misinterpreting, saying it wrongly. That is distortion. Turning it to into their favor, even if it is not the truth. That is distortion. Changing it away from the truth. Yeah, done. So no, 1 more minute. I'll give you a minute more to read. Diagonal is cross-functional. I said vertical is between two people from the boss to the employee. Horizontal is between two employees of the same level, two managers, two employees, two officers, two CEOs of the same organization discussing. That is horizontal. Diagonal is irrespective of whether they are an employee or a boss, they sit together and discuss about the progress of the project. That's for Badal. I hope you understood. Hierarchy, this is the fourth time I'm repeating. Hierarchy means rank or position in a company. CEO is the topmost, then comes the general manager. Each company has it in a different way, but by and large, in general, CEO, general manager, manager, officers, then the rest. It's a hierarchy, means it's a ranking or the ordering of positions. Yeah, diagonal pattern is the most preferred by today's companies because large companies where there are plenty of employees with different positions, they all sit together and discuss across the table. So at one shot, the issue gets solved. Therefore, today's corporates prefer the diagonal pattern. The moment you get employment letter, the day you walk into your office for the first time, you must look around or try to inquire from your friend what type of communication happens within the office, whether it's a diagonal or vertical or horizontal. Because if it's a company which follows a vertical pattern, and if you will go talk to the general manager straight, they may not like it. So once you get to know what kind of communication happens in that office, it will be easy for you to communicate. Distortion means distorting the truth, changing the truth. Yeah, you don't call it complaining. You can express whatever, not complaints, suggestions or comments you have to make or feedback you have to give about the company. We don't call it complaint. Okay. Making a QR code, yes. Distortion, I told you, twisting of the meaning of a message. That is distortion. Okay, now I give you another 2 minutes. Oh, okay. Complete this. I give you 2 minutes. This is diagonal communication, and I give you 2 minutes. No, only the diagonal is preferred by most companies. Yeah, this is Mukta. Yes, I get your question. When most of you have asked the same question, I don't look at the names. I just look at the question. Yeah, 2 minutes done. You must have finished. Yeah. Okay, now let me move. Okay, this is a diagonal pattern that's done. This is what we did. Okay, match this now, quick. This is a matching. I want you to write it down so that you are clear about what these are. Write in your notebook, match them in your notebook. Varshita, I told you, don't jump the chapters. Go along with me. Be on the same page. Mukta, you will have tests. Don't worry. Okay. Yeah, you've done it. Quick, I want all of you to post. That's when I understand that all of you have understood whatever is being said. Done? Okay. Now look at this. Informal communication. Informal communication means it's casual, friendly, and unofficial is what we always say. Informal communication can happen within the office space too. Where can it happen? In tea time, break time, during lunch breaks, before the conferences or seminars or meetings, after the conferences or seminars or meetings. That's the time when employees catch up to talk informally. Okay? Informal communication is between friends, family, neighbors, members of the community, and other social relations that are based on common interests, tastes, and disposition. Information can flow from any source in any direction. So here, this slide talks about informal communication within the office domain. Okay, I was just looking at the questions. So employees in an organization interact with each other outside the formal domain. Such communication is called grapevine or gossip in the office. It is within the office space, but not from their chairs, not inside their cubicles. Once they move out, say for tea break or lunch break or evening snack time, or before conferences, meetings, seminars, or after, okay, employees get together to talk about their projects, about their bosses, about their other employees. That is called grapevine. It is gossip in the office. Employees of different departments and varied levels meet and discuss matters casually and informally. The grapevine satisfies the social needs of the people and helps in building relationships. It is also useful in addressing certain needs and grievances of employees. How does grapevine communication help? People get to interact with each other. They get to know about each other. They help each other in times of issues. It also addresses certain needs and grievances of the employees. Suppose somebody says that they don't have proper devices to work with, the cubicle is not okay, the networking is not good. These such things are discussed about the organization, which, if heard by the higher ups, will get them rectified. It also helps in interacting with each other. satisfying the social needs of the people, and it helps in building relationships, right? So what is grapevine communication? It's gossip within the office, talking about the workplace, not from their cubicles, but in the office domain itself. That is informal communication within the office premises, which is called grapevine. Okay. I have the older version of the study material, so my pages will not tally with your study material page because yours is new. Jargon is a word you, for example, if I say business English is a jargon, right? It is English, but it is very focused and specific. Grapevine, I told you, it is gossip within the office. Spontaneous conversation is not taking a lot of time to think, to answer or ask, kind of, dragging, pausing, hesitating to ask or answer. That is not spontaneous conversation. Spontaneous conversation is speaking fluently. Done, done, done. Okay, now let me move on. So this is grapevine communication. Employees in an organization interact with each other outside the formal domain. Such communication is called grapevine, gossip in the office. Employees of different departments and varied levels meet and discuss matters casually and informally. The grapevine satisfies the social needs of the people and helps in building relationships. It is also used in addressing certain needs and grievances of employees. Okay, now I give you 2 minutes time. Fill up. This is for Badal. Jargon is a specific word used for expressing something. For example, business English. Not many know about business English. Business English is a jargon. When I say ELT, it's English language teaching. It's a jargon. Only people who are English teachers will understand that. That is a jargon. Jargon which is used for specific purposes and by specific people, by focused people. When I say syllabus fit, only teachers can understand that. That's a jargon. Hey, you're asking me hierarchy again and again and again. Hierarchy is the rank or the position that you have in the office. Material or maximum similar but jumbled, yes. Grievance is distress, in grief, something that annoys you, hurts you. It's jargon, not gargon. In examination, you won't get fill in the blanks. This is only for your understanding. Formal domain means formal space, the space where you sit. Okay, that's for Kushi. Akash, why is it grapevine? I don't know why. Maybe because it's intertwining. Shabby, sloppy means not neat and organized. Who's this? Are you getting Radhika Singh? Yes, I get all your questions. Nothing is missed. But if it is a question that has been asked by many, I don't look at the name. I just give you the answer. Dispositions is the position in which you are able to dispose of in the office space. Okay, done. Right. It is now 12:37 and I'm going to give you a Google form to fill up answers. I stop this slideshow here. Right? Give me a minute. Just give me a minute. And I will post in the chat box. I will post in the chat box the link for you to submit, right? Yeah. I'll give you 20 minutes. I think you have 15 questions. Just give me a minute. You have to give me a minute so that I go to the slide. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, now I'm posting in the chat box. Yes, this is for everyone here. I'm posting the link in the chat box. I hope you get it. Can you see it? Can you see the link? No, grapevine will be, along with the communication pattern. It is there. Domain is the office space, the space where you are. Now, just let me know in the chat, in the query, whether you see the Google form link. Quick. Otherwise, I will ask the admin to get to you. We can't get the link. Just wait. Give me a minute. You can't get the link. Okay, just wait. No link. You wait. Okay. I think that has to be shared by the admin. So you just wait. Tech support. Okay. Because today, if I do it, tomorrow it will be easy. I have told him. Let me check. Person you have called is speaking to. Okay. Meanwhile, let them call me. Meanwhile, I'll share the question paper with you all so that we don't waste time. I'll show you the question paper pattern. Just give me a minute. Don't worry. I have posted the form. Probably the admin has to post it and not me. So you just wait. I've asked them. Screening the link. How do I do that? I don't know. Where to get? How do I post the link here in my screen? So choose to heights of your profile picture rename. Okay. Fine. No, let the admin do it. Let's not waste time. Now I'll show you the question paper pattern. Just give me a minute. Yeah. Yeah, here we are. Yes, I'm sharing. Oh no, wait, I haven't shared. Just give me a minute. Yeah, I'm sharing the question paper pattern for you. You may look into that. Let's see what kind of questions you get in a question paper pattern, right? What is this here? Yeah. Oh. Hello, Nisarg. I posted the Google form and they are not able to see it. How do we make it happen? Yeah, that's what they said, but I didn't know how to do it. But don't do it now because it's 12:43 and they will not have enough time. Now I will show them the question paper pattern. Tomorrow, you tell me how to do it tomorrow after the session is over. Okay. Now let's not do it. Yeah, here I'm sharing the question paper, the sample question paper. This is November 2019. Just a minute, just a minute. Sometimes, yeah. So this is how it goes. You see, important instructions to candidates. Its time allowed is 3 hours. Total number of questions, 11 is for the law paper, right? Totally, it's for 100 marks, the law and the foundation English paper. So questions in section A are to be answered in the medium opted by the candidate. If a candidate has not opted for Hindi, he cannot answer in Hindi. This is not for English because English has to be answered only in English. Okay, then, oh my God. Why does it run so fast? Oh. Yeah, sometimes it goes berserk. Just wait. I think I'll have to stop. Oh no, thank God I got it. Here it is. This is November 2019 paper. Here are the instructions. Questions in section B are to be answered in English only by all the candidates, including those who have opted for Hindi medium. Okay. So answers to both the sections are to be written in the same answer book. Okay. This is section A, 60 marks. That's law. We are not discussing that. We move on to section B, where we have foundation English. Here we have, see section B, 40 marks. Question number 7 is compulsory. That is comprehension exercise. It's for 5 marks. If you don't answer that, your paper will not be valued. Okay. Read the passage carefully and answer the questions given below. This is comprehension, 5 marks. Now, just a minute. Sometimes it goes blank when I'm sharing. Somebody tried to annotate, I guess. That's why it's gone. Give me a minute. Let me fix it. Oof. Okay, I'll stop sharing and start sharing again. Oh, no. Wait. Yeah, here we are. I'm trying to share again so that it's easy to move. Scroll up and down. Yeah. Okay. This is still law. Yeah, it is here that we stop, write a summary, and see here, question number 7. Okay, this is for note making. Oh my God, this is gone. Here. So discuss the process of communication. That's question number 8. And you see it's for 2 marks. So each paper, it will be 1 or 2 marks depending upon the paper setter's discretion. Same question can be asked for 1 mark also. Okay. Discuss the process of communication. Now, your doubts and your feedback. 3 things. All 3 are important. Do not sign off without posting feedback, comment, or your doubts. If you don't have any doubts, post a comment, give a feedback. And that's very important for us to take the classes forward in a very, very effective way. Okay? Yes. And I'll wait for your feedback, your comments, and your doubts if you have any. I think I've answered all questions. Discuss communication is define communication. That's a question by Lakshmi. Discuss communication is define communication. Right? I have answered all your queries. This is, yeah. No, you don't have negative marking. Remember, MCQs is only for vocabulary in your examination. For communication chapter, you don't have it in MCQs. It is a WH question. What is discuss, kind of. I'm not sharing the Google link now because you won't have enough time to complete the form. Yeah, next class we will still continue with communication because there we have quite a few more things to discuss. I am waiting for your feedback. Do not sign off without filling the feedback form and giving a feedback, because that is what will help us make it effective for you, useful for you. Process of communication is the sender sending the message, then it is decoded by the receiver receiving the message, understanding it and responding relevantly. That is the process. Waiting for your, because I haven't seen all your posts, all your feedback. So I'm just waiting for all of you to post your feedback, and that's really, really important for me. Quick. How was the class? How did you feel? Was it useful? Oral and written communication, both are by words. Yes, it's by it's just the same as your CBSE board. Yeah, you will have tests. Next class is day after tomorrow. Appropriate, most appropriate word means the best correct word. Appropriate, most appropriate. Google form will be posted in the next class. Don't worry. You can use both a black and a blue one. Yes, you must write it in the beginning. Link of assignment I will share, not now. Tomorrow I will share. You will have a feedback form to submit. I teach English online and offline. My screen froze in the middle. I don't know. Maybe I made a mistake. Yeah, I'm still waiting for your feedback, your comments, or your doubts. Quick. Oh my God. Okay. Yes, I'm waiting for your feedback. How did you enjoy the class? What will you remember for your exam? These are the kind of feedback statements I want you all to make. What will you share with your partner or with your friend, with your Diagonal communication is where employees sit across the table and discuss issues, where it is direct, no misdistortion, no miscommunication, and no distortion of facts, and there is no hierarchy. It is quick communication. Yes, there will be direct questions. Yes, I will zoom the slides so that this is for Tavleen. I will zoom the slides so that you're able to read it. Summary of what we did today, Mohak. Yeah, tomorrow's session, we'll start off with a summary so that you're able to recall. Yes, you can build your vocabulary. We have a chapter on vocabulary that will help you enrich your vocabulary. See, questions that don't relate to what I have taught today, I ignore or don't answer. Okay? Questions like, where are you from? Kind of. Do you have an offline class? I don't answer those questions. My screen froze in the middle. Okay, I will check why it happened. So when I ask you for a feedback, these are the kind of sentences or statements you can make. One, how you felt, whether it was great, interesting, whatever, enjoyed, engaging. Second thing, what you will remember for the exam. Is the lecture useful enough to help you remember, retain for the exam? That's important. Three, what will you go tell your friends? Whether the session was good, that these are the things that I learned. It is that kind of feedback that will matter. See you day after tomorrow and bye-bye. Okay?